You know that feeling, right? You're having a great day, and then bam, someone says or does something that just completely tanks it. We've all been there. But what if I told you there's a way you never have to be bothered again? Okay, let's get into a story that might just change how you see, well, everything.
I mean, really think about it for a second. A harsh comment from your boss, a friend kind of poking fun at you, maybe even just being ignored. And just like that, your good mood collapses, your peace is just gone. The frustration is so real, but the solution might actually be way simpler than you think.
And this right here is the powerful truth we're going to explore. It's this idea that at the end of the day, our emotional state is our own responsibility. To really see how this works, we need to meet a guy who is basically famous for one thing and one thing only: his temper.
So in this peaceful little village, there lived a man named James. And for James, everyone else was the problem. People just needed to have better manners, be more considerate, and for goodness sake, stop bothering him. He truly believed if the world would just fix itself, he could finally be calm.
And the things that set him off, they were tiny. I mean, almost insignificant. If his wife, Mia, forgot to put enough salt in his food, it wasn't a small mistake. Oh no. To James, it was a massive personal insult that required an immediate and very loud correction.
And his reaction was always the same: just pure, explosive anger. He would shout so fiercely that birds would literally fly away from the trees in fear. He thought this was how you taught people a lesson, how you demanded respect.
But after all the shouting was over, who was the one left feeling the pain? It wasn't the person he yelled at. It was James. He'd be sitting there all alone, his chest literally burning with frustration and regret. He was poisoning himself, and he didn't even know it.
His wife, Mia, she could see it all so clearly, and she asked him the one question he just couldn't answer. Why did he let these little things control him? Because by reacting, he was handing over the keys to his own peace and happiness to everyone and everything around him.
So one summer, a calm and quiet monk arrived in the village, and he quickly became known for his simple but really profound wisdom. This monk's arrival was about to mark a total transformation for James.
After one particularly bad outburst and a totally sleepless night, James finally hit his breaking point. He was just defeated. He went to the monk and admitted his struggle. He was just so tired of being angry, so tired of that constant fire burning inside him.
The monk's first lesson was a complete game changer. It totally reframed what anger even is. See, James had always thought his anger was a weapon he used against other people. But the monk explained that it was actually a poison he was drinking himself, and he had a powerful way to show him why.
The monk compared an angry mind to a cup of water that's been all shaken up. When everything is turbulent and cloudy like that, you can't see your own reflection anymore. You lose clarity, you lose perspective, and you certainly can't see the truth of the situation.
So, the solution wasn't to just pretend you don't feel anger or to silently take insults. That feeling itself is a valid signal. The real power, the monk explained, comes from acknowledging that signal without letting it control you. It's the crucial difference between reacting and responding. And this single distinction is the core of this entire lesson.
All right, let's break this down. Reacting is like someone throwing a handful of dirt at you and you instinctively reach out to catch it. Now you're all dirty. Responding is just stepping aside and letting it fly right past you. Reacting is drinking the poison someone offers you. Responding is politely refusing the drink. So the key point is this: reacting is giving your power away, while responding is keeping it for yourself.
To really illustrate this, the monk boiled a pot of water and threw a bunch of sand in it. This, he said, is your mind when you react. It's hot, it's cloudy, it's chaotic. But then they just waited. The water cooled and the sand slowly settled, leaving clear water once again. That clarity, he explained, is what happens when you just pause and choose to respond.
And this just perfectly illustrates the whole idea. The world is always going to throw dirt. That part is totally out of your control. But whether you stand there and catch it or you simply take a step to the side, that choice is and always will be yours.
Now, knowing something is one thing, but actually applying it is a whole other story. So James started to practice this new way of being, and it wasn't easy. Old habits die hard. But he started to see changes, one small victory at a time.
One day at the market, a merchant tried to overcharge him.
The old James would have absolutely exploded. But the new James, he felt that familiar spark of anger rise up. He acknowledged it as a signal, and then he paused. He remembered the monk's words and simply said, "I think I'll buy from someone honest." He walked away, feeling not the quick rush of winning an argument, but a deep, lasting sense of peace. But then came a much harder test. Some young men in the village saw his change and decided to mock him publicly, trying to provoke that angry man they used to know. His fists clenched. His mind started to scream. This was the real moment of truth. He remembered the monk's words. These insults, they were just poison being offered to him. And he realized he didn't have to drink it. He simply smiled at them and walked away peacefully, leaving them completely speechless. He had kept his power. Over time, James's transformation was so complete that his entire identity changed. He went from being James the angry man to the person people actually sought out for advice on how to find peace. Years later, James himself was sharing the wisdom that he had learned. He understood that true peace wasn't about trying to control the world around him to make it quiet. It was about cultivating a quiet mind that the world couldn't disturb. And this became his guiding philosophy. You can't stop the storms of life. The rude comments, the frustrating setbacks, the daily annoyances. They will always be there, but you can learn to adjust your own sails, to use that wind to guide you where you want to go, instead of letting it just toss you around.
So, what's the one thing to take away from all this? It's this simple, powerful mantra. The next time someone says or does something to provoke you, just whisper to yourself, "I won't catch the dirt." It's a reminder that the choice is always yours. Because the storm will come. That's a guarantee. The only question that matters is, will you let it shake you, or will you choose to respond? Will you catch the dirt, or will you step aside and keep your peace? The choice is always yours.